I got my first touring gig with this duo from New Zealand called Broods, and I got it right in between my junior and senior year of college. So I was still in school, I was still doing homework, and I actually got recommended for the gig. It was from a dear friend of mine and colleague. Her name is Karina DePiano. We were going to the same program at the time, and it was totally, word of mouth. We had played gigs before, so it was definitely a colleague recommendation. And yeah, I when I was on that gig, I did my senior project while I was playing Coachella. So it was a really great experience. A couple things happened in order for me to actually nail and get the gig from my recommendation. I went to a rehearsal space with the MD that was hiring the band, and I met with the artists, went through songs together. I played some keyboard and synth parts straight from the record. And we also did a bit of singing together. The lead singer would sing a couple songs, and I would, in the moment, have to come up with a harmony part or sing something from the song that she was singing. So there was a bit of like an in-person interview process and just testing, okay, what are your skills? What's your capabilities? It was on the spot. These recordings were not given to me beforehand. Everything was in the moment, just in the room. Some of the most important steps I took to get to where I'm at today with my keyboard career. Well, firstly, I grew up in a musical family. So I grew up playing in churches, just being around town in a musical setting. That was helpful to just get support and get comfortable in that space. And then I went to college, and I went in as a vocal major at USC, the popular music program. So keyboards isn't even my first instrument. I did take some classes that helped me, get comfortable and actually have the muscles and the skill set to do keyboards. The first class was the keyboard class with Adriana. And yeah, it was great. I got all the basics. I got a lot of ear training, just a lot of foundational rudiments that gave me that confidence to even keep going with it. Ear training classes were great, just really building those muscles. And then I also took a production and recording class. And that was huge for me to learn about soft synths and plugins and other skills that are still really relevant, and more vocab, so I can actually communicate with music directors or producers, even artists if it's on an indie level. Some of the most important things, in my keyboard studies and just my music studies in general that helped me get to where I'm at now, would definitely be always just gigging around town, local bars with your friends, weddings, everything, just being involved and meeting people that could maybe hire you or, know where to find you. Most of my sounds are internal, straight from the gear. I am 98% of the time standing. The few gigs where I've only played, it's just I'm sitting at the grand. I'm sitting there, but I'm standing. Most of my responsibilities with Olivia Rodrigo are keyboards. So all the piano sounds, a lot of the synth sounds on there. I have some sampling responsibilities too. And then I do background vocals. And more recently, acoustic guitar stuff. It's evolving with her. Specifically with some of these keyboard sounds, I really try to build the sounds from the ground up. So if I get, let's say, a stem with like, this is the keyboard for this song, I will try to go in and build it ground up just so that I have flexibility with like how I need to modify it in the room or completely change it. I have that ability and I have that capability. Sampling wise, I mean, there's sometimes scenarios where there is just no other way but to use that direct, sample. So it can be like a vocal chop where I physically play that on a sample pad or something on a controller. I love using soft synths too. Some of my favorite ones are Serum. I love Omnisphere. I know that one's a heavy one, but it's been really helpful with certain music because the producers just like to use that one. It's great. I would recommend Serum just because it's not too pricey. I think it's a reasonable price tag and it's so flexible. I really learned a lot more about like oscillators and sound design, and you can really just do anything and emulate anything with it. I stay current as a musician, as a keyboard player, really with TikTok. I think it's as like integrated as it is into our lives. I think it like holds a lot of knowledge and a lot of other communities that you would have, never seen without the internet. There's really cool like history pages on there that it's just such a space of knowledge. But then also meeting up with friends that you make on the internet. I've just met a really great keyboardist. Her name is Bryn Bliska. She's from New York. If it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't have met her. She's such an amazing player, producer, singer. Just so much community through there. When it comes to new music, I thankfully have a younger sibling, so she helps me out with just bringing new stuff. But also having a presence online, there's just so much to see out there, so much to look for, so much that the algorithm just sends your way. I'm really thankful for the internet for that. I definitely practice. I also consider gigs as practice because it's everything from how do you reapproach the same song you've played, multiple weeks in a row to, how can I reapproach my gear? Like, how can I update, what I have in front of me? And then at home, I still go to my rudiments and I still go to those foundations. There's always space to just like keep being solid. But yeah, I do consider gigs practice as well. When I go back to rudiments, I go back to like dexterity exercises, making sure my fingers are still, strong and confident. Yeah, scales, just anything to make sure that I'm nice and greasy and I, can just keep going and feel comfortable. As a musician, what makes me really unique is that first and foremost, I'm bilingual and bicultural. So I've had gigs where I've used my Spanish and that's gotten me to other rooms. I'm a really great singer, and it helps to have that skill set. It, puts me above other people. It gives me that competitive edge. I'm also very conscious of stage presence. I really like to think about what people are seeing alongside of what they're hearing. So I'm big on, putting on a show and just making it look cool, making it look fun. A couple other things that make me really stand out as a player are my recording capabilities. I can make tracks, I can arrange songs, I can run playback for people, all of which I've done before. I can really contribute to like a creative vision. I can really work with and be collaborative with anybody in the room. As a writer and as a singer, I've had really great placements. I landed one in a children's movie. It's called Leap. And I've done stuff for ABC, for Netflix, for CBS, a lot of sync music. And it's both as a singer, as a writer, as a producer. It gives me more understanding of like different like revenue streams and just like well-roundedness as a musician. If I could give advice to other musicians, people that, you know, want to come up and want to work and really make a career out of this, is be open and experiment. Like lean into the things that you're scared of, the things that feel a little out of reach. No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to let you have that opportunity unless you want to have that opportunity. So advocate for yourself, advocate for your growth, invest in your community, find people, find friends, find spaces that are just as motivated as you, or maybe more, that can uplift you and push you forward. People that can be there for you is just like really huge. Be prepared. Be prepared musically, be prepared intellectually, you know. It's an incredible feeling to be at the right place at the right time.